Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy. This is kind of an impromptu video here. So probably for like the last month or so, you've noticed that pretty much the only thing that's been going up is just Redline Tuesdays. And that's not to say I haven't been doing other work. Um, just stuff that I haven't recorded, mostly my comic, which you're seeing right now. And I actually just got back from a little trip here, and before I went away on my trip, I got an email from another YouTuber named Kevin Phillips, and I will try to remember to link all these people down below, but I'm recording in the middle of the night, so that might not happen, but I'll do my best. And he sent me an email asking if I was partaking in or aware of the 100 Days of Comics sort of like blogosphere YouTubing experience where basically you let me start at the beginning. Sorry, I'm like babbling and drawing at the same time. So Kevin Cross, as far as I know, is the artist, illustrator, comic book guy who came up with it, and he wanted to make more time for his personal project, his personal comics. And he saw on a lot of like self-improvement sites this idea of, you spend 30 minutes a day, which is like a manageable amount of time working on your personal stuff or just something you want to improve, like cooking or sewing or dancing or whatever. And you do that for 100 days. And, after 100 days, 30 minutes every day, you either have accomplished more or are better at it. And he made it so that you have to record it. You have to be publicly accountable for. I'm basically just quoting him here. You have to be publicly accountable for this. You can't just like slack off and be like, oh, I'll do my 30 minutes tomorrow along with 30 minutes I need to do tomorrow, and then before long you have to do like 60 hours of work in one day because you slacked off for a whole bunch of days. But anyway, Kevin Phillips emailed me about it, and I thought, well, that's a great idea. And I thought, well, as soon as I get back from my trip, I'm going to start doing that. So I got back from my trip like 2 days ago. I had to kind of get a bunch of other work straight first before I could start doing this. So now I decided to start doing this. Now here's the deal. Kevin Phillips recommended I do Trying Human, and I at first was like, yeah, of course, that's exactly the one I would do. Except Trying Human's kind of like my full-time thing. So it's like I dedicate way more than 30 minutes a day to Trying Human. I'm lucky enough where my personal project is kind of the thing, but the thing I'm kind of dreading related to Trying Human is redoing or touching up books for publishing, which is what I'm doing now. The first book just was completed, and now I have to go back and do the second book, which is actually going quicker, but it is taking a long time. So my thought was, instead of doing my current pages, though I might squeak them in here and there, what I would do is actually work on my comparing the shadows here. What I would do is work on my redos and my touch-ups and stuff. The mysterious behind-the-scenes process of that, I guess. But like I said, I might do other stuff. I also thought about doing Parka Patty, which is something I like desperately want to get back into and finish. It's just a short horror comic, and I actually was like over halfway done with it before the first volume of Trying Human came out, and I just sort of was like, well, I'm putting that on the back burner because I've got, I have to worry about shipping and getting this book printed, and I was going crazy with that. So, yeah, I need to get back into that as well. But I think for now, I'm going to try doing the redos via the 30 minutes. I should also buffer this by saying that I'm probably not going to do the entire page, the entire redos on camera, but I will definitely try to give, like 30 minutes at least of screen time a day to the redos for 100 days. Oh boy, this is scary. I'm really scared, you guys. I don't know if I can do this. So that is that. But I'm actually looking at the clock here, and I've got, oops. I've got, I just recorded 5 minutes. I guess this could be my first 100 days, so I will just sit here and finish it up in front of you guys, and hopefully it shouldn't take more than 30 minutes. And oh man, I tell you what, I hate leaving my comics. Even for trips, like it was my anniversary trip, so I was like, oh, go, I guess. But I didn't want to go because every time I leave, every time I have to be away, even if I'm like drawing that whole time, there's something about stepping away from my comics that I get just out of it. I get out of my groove, I guess. I don't know. Like my art doesn't feel solid. I'm not in my environment. Oh, I'm a homebody. I am a homebody. So yeah, if you are up on the current Trying Human story, this is a little flashback, little memory of one of my main characters named Roger, who fell asleep in front of his fish tank. Do this. And he's having a little memory about a weird encounter. Hint, hint. Alien abductions. So, there's lots of cool glowy effects. And it's nice because the other pages that wrap around this scene. So the character is basically in his mind recounting this little scene from his childhood here. But the other scene that he's in is like really hard on my eyes to work on it. It's like electric green with really dark blues, and the scene is almost entirely dark blues and oranges and stuff. So it's nice to even with lazy-no-zoomy on, I'm not doing very hot here on my lines. It's nice to step away from that like scorching, burning retina page. Though this little electric green, or this like, I don't know what you'd call this, it's almost like a white color with like a teal sort of a hue over top of it. Whew, even this hurts my eyes. I'm pretty tired though. It's late here. It's almost 4 in the morning. I've been up all night. I'm getting stuff ready to ship for my backers for the Trying Human Kickstarter. Yay me. So yeah, I'm working on this little flashback page here. But one thing is, spoiler, the alien who he's not looking at, he's actually looking at sort of like a telekinetic telepathy type effect that the alien's making, which is, I have a sketch for it. Yeah, there. It's like this little floating fish thing, which I'm going to draw in here in a minute. But the alien is actually standing off this way, so there's like this bright green color coming in from the other side too, so I'm going to have to put that in here. Yeah, right here he's turning his head. He's following the trail of this little magical fish thing. Man, if I was a kid and I saw a little magical fish thing in my room, I don't know if I'd be quite so enamored with it. It's that would scare the pooper. That would scare all the poops out of me. Of course, I was a pretty suspicious kid. I was suspicious of everything. But yeah, he's, I guess, not fazed by it. But yeah, on the next page is his reaction to seeing this creature standing off to the side, so that'll be fun. So like here, the glow, like there's a window that's casting this shadow over the clock, so the creature shows that. I'm calling it the creature. It feels very unnatural to me to call it the creature, but it shows up here at 2 a.m. You know what, I'm actually going to not do it like this. I am going to I don't think you guys can see my layers. I don't think I'm recording them right now. Apologies. Oop, I'm still in pencil mode. I don't do a lot of soft shading in Trying Human. I feel like it doesn't really fit the look I'm going for. I feel like the characters are the way they're drawn, it doesn't really lend itself to that kind of a look with like soft shading. I feel like it gets a little, I want to say milky, but that doesn't seem like the right word. Like kind of washed out. I don't know. The shading doesn't look good if it's like too soft, though. The aliens, I usually leave some soft lines on their heads and stuff because they got big round heads. But other than that, I try not to do that. Okie dokie. So now we're gonna do a little of that, a little of this, and multiply. Yeah, I think that looks good. It's pretty green though. I think that's better. Okay. I might even I don't know, in my head I see this scene being so much more blue. And because of him this character has like a lot of yellows and greens on him, so when the blue is over top, it just makes everything look a lot more green. That's not what I want. So, yeah, this is much closer to how I see it in my head, like this sort of pallor over top of it. So I think I might do something like that, and I will, for now, put it in there. So, what you just saw there, that orange, that was my, now why is it doing this? Oh, there we go. Oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, sorry. Having a moment there. This orange is my sound effects. I usually have them written on my sketch pages, and then by the time I just draw over top a million times, I don't see the sound effects anymore. So I try to pen them in on a layer up above now. I've forgotten them more than once now, and I've kind of had to kick myself in the ass about it. So I'm starting to learn my lesson about that. because there's been plenty of scenes where I was like, oh, I should have done sound effects there, and then it turns out like I totally did have sound effects there and just forgot them. So I actually liked the fish that I drew on the sketches quite a bit, but I didn't like some of these like bubbles because they were just, sketches. So I'm just going to tidy them up a little bit. And make them not clip over the back or over the gutters. Oops. I just had a thought. I'm not really sure if this is like something he's just seen in his mind, or if this is like, it's probably something he's seen in his mind, right? I mean, this is like an illusion or something created by the alien. This isn't, I don't know. It's a combination of something like that. Fish are kind of a running motif in Trying Human, though unintentionally so, but I have characters interacting with them or something fish-like on quite a regular basis. Mostly because I'm kind of spooked by fish, the same way I'm spooked by aliens. Maybe that says more about me than anything in the comic. They just freak me out. This part here, though, where he's sleeping in front of the fish tank, for those of you reading the story, is kind of, I think, loosely based on a vague memory I have as a kid. We did have a fish tank that was sitting in an alcove, similar to how it's portrayed in this scene. But I don't think we had it more than a year before the two fish we had died. My dad's fish ate my fish. Not happy. But I kind of remember there was a recliner we kept next to the fish tank, and I sort of remember like falling asleep one time in front of it, or like staying up all night with the fish, watching the fish tank. I can't say I was abducted by aliens during that or anything, but it had a similar resonance, I guess, just now that fish kind of freaked me out, and it was this childhood memory, and I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll include it in Trying Human here. It's just nice to be drawing something that's not, it's kind of like out of left field a little bit. It's a nice change of pace. Not that the current pages are, like, story boring, it's just, I don't know, some of them are kind of tedious for me to draw, like, the same sort of, like, boring hallways filled with alien fighters and stuff. I get a little tired of that. want to get back to the aliens and the romance and the love. I think a lot of people do. Gotten a lot of messages about it. Okay. There we go. Telepathy. So adding the outer glow effect kind of bulked up a few areas. Now I must debulk them. Debulking is a surgical procedure. Neat. You're super interested. Man, the one thing I should mention about this 100 Days of Comics thing is a trend I've kind of noticed, like a lot of the other videos, is they're all, for the most part, I think, industry professionals, and I've never been in the industry. I've just always done comics like independently, so I can't really give like words of wisdom about like, well, this is what you should do and this is what you shouldn't do, you know. Whereas like a lot of the folks doing these 100 Days of Comics are giving like helpful advice and stuff, and I have nothing to give. I have nothing. So I hope that I can do enough, or at least show enough during my my page making, or at least my redos, which I think will be interesting, like going back to my old work and like kind of explaining the whys and hows of that. Alright, so did my block. I call this blocks when I have to like pick up a piece like to cover up. See how the blur or the glow effect goes out there, like out into the gutters. I go down and pick up blocks, which are these things that I use to block the glow. I don't know if there's a technical term for that, but I just call them blocks. Okay, so now let's just add some more effects, and then I have to do the sound effects and I'll be done. I'm gonna get rid of my palette now. I don't need it anymore. Alright, let's do some shines. Boy, that shine is harsh. I do know one thing I wanted to do was, I wanted to draw him drooling. Let me, okay, so this will be my overlay effect layer. This layer, I'm having to rename my layers a little bit here. This will just be shines no overlay. Okay. So I like to pick up the white color when I do water or liquids. It kind of sucks here though because his shoulder sort of blocks like a drool trail. So I think I'm going to have to kind of abandon a little bit of my original idea. I was going to have like drool dripping the whole way down his chin, but that's probably kind of gross anyway. Okay. I normally don't put highlights on skin, like ever, but this thing is like supposed to be really bright and kind of like right up on top of him. So again, I don't like normally put shines on fabric, but I'm trying to show that this thing is like right there. So yeah, we'll leave that though. I don't like how it has a break in it. Let's just make it a continuous like kidney T-bone steak shape. Okay. Can't even see the shine on that. Okay. Sorry. Just babbling to myself. I feel bad for this character. This is kind of a real life-defining moment for him. And not a good one either. I hate them aliens. Sorry, I sometimes like kind of just put shines around and see what they look like and stuff. Sorry. I'm sorry my art offends you. He's so cute. He's such a jerk, though, in this current story. He was cute when he was a kid, though. I also want to do a little bit of line coloring here. Just because it's pretty hard to see that little twist from his head. Alright, cool. And then I wanted to do some shines on the clock. I'm worried that I'm like really sloppy. Just gonna put some highlights up here. Okay. Oops. Then I'm gonna pick this up there via copy. This is the same drawing 3 times, just the hands moved, so I'm a huge cheat. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not so important what the times are, just the fact that time has passed and it's like hours later, like he's asleep and everybody's up in bed and it's dark, you know. That was like the whole point of the clock hands. Okay, so now we're going to do the sound effects, or kind of just general effects. Let's do new. I've gotten in the habit of kind of doing my sound effects the same way. So this is how many Y? This is 9 inches. I'm going to go 10. I'm going to go one step further. I've gotten in the habit of doing my sound effects on their own. Oh, a little yawn. On their own layer so that I can see them more easily. Or their own, not layer, but canvas. Okay, so I kind of wanted to do cursive, but I just don't think it'll look good in the long run. Like, I'm worried it's going to be too fancy. And I'll just leave some curve in my TikTok. Alright, there's tick. And now talk will be... Should I put a dash in? Nah, I don't need a dash. Let me just, I'm going to edit the tails on the fancy T's a little bit just so that it's not so... Yeah, I think I'll be fine. Though I am worried this will read more like, especially this one for some reason, reads more like J, like jock, but that's a better T, I think, with the, like, the straight. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oops, I don't need to save it. Okay. Actually, yeah, this should be on top of that. Okay. Sorry I get so quiet. I do try to keep the banter up to some degree, but I don't want to just be talking for the sake of talking without, like, contributing anything to our non-existent conversation. I always pick some annoying color at the beginning, and then I usually tone it down a little. I was originally going to add like a what do you call it? Like a ZZZ like sleeping sound effect, but I don't think it'll look good, and I think it'll kind of ruin this little swoosh I've got set up. But I mean, he looks like he's sleeping, you know what I mean? He's out. Just the only thing I don't like is this is so dark that it's hard to like make out some of there. I think that's better. Like there's purposely like some dark down there, but it's like almost hard to read the clock like at all to see the face or anything. So okay, yeah, I think this looks good. I think this looks cute and everything, and change of pace. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I put that like blue filter on top. It's a lot closer to what I was going for. I realize this is one of those bubbles that I probably don't need a tail because it's within the frame, and as far as you guys know, he's the only speaking character in this scene. But there's kind of like a little rule in manga that if a character, and I do tend to like use some manga rules, so I do reference them, but there's kind of like a little thing where if a character's talking and they're the only character in the panel, you don't necessarily have to do a tail on a bubble, which kind of goes against every rule of American comic book making, but it's there, it exists. So like here where it's just like his eye, you know, there's nothing else here. I could have probably just left the alone, but I wanted to have a tail because I think it looks nicer. Alright, so I'm going to cut everything that's on the outside of that page. I don't want it. And there it is. That's our page. Yay. Here's my sketches back there. Alright, well, that is going to do it for this page and this video. So from starting hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to have more videos every single day, at least a 30-minute video, so that you guys know I'm not slacking off. And yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye.